there's a whole bunch of new stuff here, which is kind of cool. Some of it's really unique, so I'm looking forward to showing you that. Also, we've done some really interesting junk removals the last couple of days, over the last week or so, and I like to show you all the stuff we got. It's some pretty cool stuff. So right now the guys are unloading.
Let them know we're having mic issues.
We're having mic issues. Go ahead and type that in there.
I'm having Wi-Fi issues.
Good morning, so did you just bring that off the truck?
Yeah.
Talk about cool. That's cool. So does this go with get the tub too?
Oh, I ain't take it out.
Testing. 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah, switch the magnet.
You should be paying money.
Good morning.
I like the sound of that. You should be paying money to come here.
That's right. That's pretty nifty. What is that?
We have a tub that.
What
Does that go on?
goes the side of a tub?
Oh, okay. I thought it had something
Freestanding
to
tub.
do with a bidet. You know, I'm going. Wow.
Oh yeah, this would be fun. Let's see bidet in it. So, faucet for a freestanding tub, you know, like a clawfoot tub. Pretty cool.
Trailer there, and this is me right here. And
So we got a new guy, coming in to get his, getting his cabinets. Let's go over here.
I'm some big guy.
Hammer, what a good name.
So as soon as these guys grab this last vanity off that.
All right, so some stuff that we just got in. Well, this is new since last week. Okay. And then we did a office clean out, and we got a lot of office equipment. So this is something that's new. The Christmas tree's new. So we're getting into our season starting about April 15th. We just got the biggest complex that we ever tore down. Well, maybe it's not the biggest. We got a very big complex that we're tearing down in Naples. So let's go check out what we got. So we're going to see more and more of this if the things that I'm hearing online are true. So this is an office complex, office building. The people moved out, walked away from their lease, and all this equipment here. There's multiple Connex boxes full of this, but we get some really cool stuff. I mean, look at that chair. Is that cool or what? So, and then what we charge for stuff compared to what the office companies around here would charge for this, like this would be probably at least $150 somewhere else. These would be like $650, $350 to $650. You see the price we have on them. And the reason that price is on them is because we know after doing this for as long as we've done this, that this is just not the right environment for furniture. So people, for some reason, they don't like buying furniture from warehouse situations. At least that's what we've learned. So these chairs right here, these are very expensive office chairs. I mean, look at that. Isn't that freaking beautiful? So, you know, these things, if you bought them from like Han or from one of these fancy high-end office stores. You know, this is, like I said, this is Han. If that's where they came from, those were probably $250 or $300 a piece. So let's go check out the other Connex boxes. So back in here, more, these are lateral files. These are not super crazy high quality, but they are, I mean, they are Han. Han is expensive. There's quite a few of these manufacturers of office furniture that put out some pretty high quality and very expensive stuff. Like this is Home Depot quality here, Home Depot. So Logan's got his name on this one. He's going to take that one home, or it might be going in his office here. Back in the next Connex box, we have some stuff for my house. I needed some more under counter storage. So these chairs here in an office store, these are kind of rough. See, this one's $10. It's got some imperfections on it. $30 a piece. You know, you're talking 50 to 100 anywhere else. So it's a good price for that. So check these out. Aren't these really cool? So somebody took some columns and they painted them up this way. Kind of cool. These are solid. They're solid wood. So these would have been crazy expensive, very, very heavy to move around. So we're already kind of creeping into our season. And what I mean by that is we're starting to get some really cool stuff. So here's another example. So these, we have a rental property down the street that we own, and there's an office guy in there. And this office setup with this amount of scratches and stuff, this setup here would be like $350 to $500 with him. Okay. If you look in the next Connex box over, you'll see. Okay, here's some more of the office furniture. This is not all of it. These shelves sell like crazy. We have good luck selling shelves. We normally get, you know, we don't get a huge amount of money for them compared to what the office guys will get. But this is like $50. That's a crazy good deal. So these are the ones that I'm going to take home. So these are going to go to my house. So I have some under counter storage. And if you remember, if you're watching our videos, when we did that big gigantic warehouse clean out, I took the desk system from there, and it's at my house, and it's my workstation. So we're in the middle of hiring an eBay person. We're looking for somebody that's kind of experienced. The big secret with eBay is there's quite a few moving parts to it, and you get graded on every level. You get graded on how you ship, graded on how you describe things, the whole 9 yards. So eBay is not something, you can't put just anybody on it and get it done in a good manner. So here's more of the desks. So these are all L desks. Again, these would be $350, $650 if they're in super excellent condition. And we've got, I guess we got, you know, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 over there, and then there's more in another one of the Connex boxes. I know people have a lot of fun with me when I call these hot water heaters, but I grew up in Cincinnati, and we say washer funny, and we say hot water heater. I realize it's a water heater, but I say it's a hot water heater. And why? Because, well, that's what we called them when I grew up. So anyway, we get quite a few of these. A lot of these scenarios we go in, and it's a perfectly good unit, perfectly good setup, everything works in it, but they're doing something different. Somebody else bought it, somebody else is doing something with it. So if you look at this, you look at it from this side, I mean, it's in excellent condition. They last a pretty long time, a good long time. The only thing that happens with these is they get filled with sediment from the water, from the nutrients in the water. But we sell probably, I'm thinking probably 200 of those a year. So that's another one of those. And we got more desks here. You know, just guessing from walking through this morning, I think we'll probably have about 25 kitchen cabinet sets right now. These are these workstations that came out of that warehouse where we got all the books. And then here's more of the bookshelves. So I know we missed one of those Connex boxes because, so this is an example, okay, this is an example of a kitchen cabinet set. Okay, the kitchen cabinet set is worthless without the base cabinet. A lot of times what happens with the base cabinets is they're rotten from getting wet. So what the guys are instructed to do is to take off the face of the base cabinet and bring it back, and then somebody who wants to make this work will just make a box. So that's what that is right there. So hey Kenny.
Hello, hello.
So we are walking around and looking at all the office furniture we just got in.
I saw you had some cabinets in this one that are pretty cool. Lockers.
All right, so let's go back in here and talk about this. So we get a lot of different things, and we really don't mess with mattresses unless they're like excellent. So this would be an example, and we see this frequently. You go into a condo, it's got 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, and the owners, well, they live in the master. The other rooms have little to no use. So a lot of this stuff is like brand spanking new. So we got 3 different setups here, and that's what these are. So the thing that we do with the mattresses, if they got any sort of stain or imperfections to them, we don't mess with them. If you're gonna sell mattresses, this is what we have to do because we only have so much storage space. But if you're gonna sell them, if you're gonna sell stuff like this, you need to lay them down and put them in their normal, natural position, and they sell so much better. Mattress doesn't look right sitting up, and you can see how this is kind of not sitting correctly, but if you lay it down, it'll set correctly. And there's nothing wrong with this mattress, even though it doesn't look as good as it could if it was laying in its natural position. All right, let's go. I know there were more desks. So we did a whole office clean out. The people just gone, you know. I'll be darned. I guess I'm remembering something different than what. So, and these right here, so the cool thing about doing what we do, Talen's taking these. We got these as a junk removal. And if you look at these things, they're in very, very, very good condition. You know, they're wet right now, so they don't look as good as they could. That little tube that I just showed you, that big faucet, it goes to something like this. So, and we still have a ton of sliders. We did so many of these big complexes, so we got loaded up with sliders. We sell probably 2 or 3 sets of sliders a week. We probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 or 50 sets of sliders right now. So if you're looking for something like that, hurricane rated sliders, we'll have those. I am absolutely certain that we have more. Okay, we talked about this last week, okay? Selling something like this without it being somewhat put together, it makes it hard. So what we did is we kind of finessed it back together. If you see the imperfections here, I have a guy that can fix stuff like this that we've been dealing with for about 20 years. And if you look up here, this is what we did to kind of bridge the gap. So that lets the person who's buying or potentially going to buy this see what this is. The more unique something is like that, the more unique something is like this, the harder it is to sell. It just gets really hard to sell. Somebody who really wants something like that will make it work, But you know, out of 1,000 customers, or say 5,000 customers, you're going to have one that would consider messing with that and making it work, and probably one in 50,000 that actually needs something like that. So it's a very rare thing. Now, can we sell it? Maybe. Should I put this on eBay? Probably. Can you ship something like that? Don't want to. It's too much work. But a lot of times what happens is we'll put something like this on eBay only for the exposure. And then if they want to come get it, that's fine. If they don't, what happens typically is it's somebody out of Miami or somebody out of one of these bigger cities that's within a couple 100 miles of us. They'll come and get that kind of stuff. Yes, sir.
So how long would you keep something like this in the store
So-
before you decide it's...
So that's a good question. So Kenny's saying, how long would you leave this in the store before you would get rid of it? Well, here's what happens. This is February. We got March, April. April 15th, guess what happens? We explode, and then we don't have enough room. So right now, 20,000 square feet is roughly what we have inside and outside. Once we get into season, this will probably be one of the first things to go. But what could possibly happen with this is we'll put it in a corner somewhere and consolidate it and just try to use the pictures to help it get sold. And then eventually something like this will get thrown away, which is really a shame. If you look at our desk that Lee sits behind, it's a rounded desk like this. It came from a receptionist area like that. And we've had 4 or 5 different people try to buy that over the years.
Is this like a terrazzo?
It's got that, this is some sort of a man-made composite. I don't want to say composite. I don't even know I'm not sure what it is, but this is man-made most likely. And it does look like terrazzo, like the terrazzo floors. So everything else in here, just our best-selling things are the kitchen cabinets and the vanities. So this is that tub we talked about earlier. This is that faucet that I showed you earlier, okay? And that goes to this tub here. So this is crazy, really cool. You know, one person in that same building might be putting this in. Another person says, I don't want that, I want a shower, you know? So that's what you deal with. So I'm sure you deal with that in every marketplace, but you really deal with that here in these luxury marketplaces. So I haven't had a Christmas tree in a couple years, and if Lee doesn't sell this by Christmas time, it'll be mine.
Oh, I got some time.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of lead time.
Lead time?
So here's something that's kind of fun. This is something we get with like every junk removal.
Whoa.
Jump them in the trap, right? Yeah.
So ladders, we get ladders, more ladders, and more ladders, and then we get some more ladders. We always get ladders.
We always have ladders.
Yes, we never run low on
No
ladders.
shortage of ladders.
And
We
if
don't
you're
make
ever
any
thinking,
money, folks, we just love to sell ladders.
all right, so some of our best sellers, we get a lot of washers and dryers, and we don't really have a lot of them in stock because they sell pretty quickly. So that's a common thing that the neighborhood knows about us. Hi, good morning. So let's go over here on the other side. There's some new stuff we got over here. Is there anybody saying anything?
Any questions?
Okay, so these, we brought these out of the area over there, the appliance area, to put them on display because we know we're going to have them for a longer period of time, and we're just displaying them better. They get a little better lighting here, and the other thing is it gives us a chance to pay attention to them because we have people who have come in and stolen knobs and stuff like that off of these things. And sometimes if you steal a knob off of something like this, they quit making them after like 4 or 5 years and you just can't get them. This is all tactical stuff. We bought a whole pallet of this from a former employee. So we basically sold a bunch of it on eBay. Now the price point's down to the point where it doesn't make sense to sell it on eBay. So we got all kinds of this tactical stuff for sale for, you know, not a lot of money. So, you know, the majority of the stuff that we're really stick to our pricing on is going to be the the vanities and the kitchen cabinet sets. This kitchen cabinet set is sold. They're loading it up this morning. If you remember, there was a really cool vanity here last week. It's gone. So let's go over and check out the guys. So here you go. Here's some pretty cool pictures. You can walk across. So here's stuff that we get all the time. So if you went to buy this particular picture in a consignment shop, that picture might be $200-300, you know. This is pretty high quality if you look at how this is put together. So that's probably their house, maybe up north or something like that. There's 4 of these that have matching frames. And then $40. Now, Vlad, who works for us, he takes stuff like this and sells it and works it and sells it for more money. Like, you should buy all those, Vlad. They're $40. You could sell them for probably $200 a piece.
I might.
Yeah. All right. So I'm trying to figure out what do you think NFS stands for? NFS.
Needs something.
Yeah. So we'll come in at. So they unloaded this morning. An interesting thing about blue tape is designed to be on something for just a short period of time. The guys actually numbered this so that they could put it back together easier in the shop. But the blue tape, you don't want to leave it on there for too long. It'll take the finish off.
Especially in the sunlight.
And especially in the sunlight. So hey, what does NFS stand for?
Not for sale.
Ah.
Oh yeah, I think Jennifer was talking about.
We have us a new terminology that Dave wasn't aware of, which is kind of fun. So not for sale. So what that is these are going in our Airbnbs we just bought. So there's stuff that's going to come in that we're going to just take straight over there, and we're going to change out a lot of furniture and stuff. We did a condo. We emptied out all the contents. We took it straight over to an Airbnb and put it underneath it. We bought a new Airbnb, and we're switching furniture right now. So we'll show that Airbnb. We also bought another unit, and we lucked out in some crazy way. We lucked out, and we were able to buy the buildings next door to 2 of our very good Airbnbs. So what's going on with that is one of them needs major rehab, and it's going to take 4 or 5 months to get to that one because we have some other stuff that our repair crews are working on, a repair crew. And then we have the one we're just going to switch some furniture out, and we'll do the full rehab in off season. Right now, when we're in season, we're just going to rent this stuff out. So let's go back in here and see what else the guys have got. So here's some other things we just got in. We get stuff like this in. We're not crazy about selling this kind of stuff. We don't want the liability that goes with it. Same thing here. This is a pack and play. So it probably came from a seasonal rental.
You sold a $10 million cabinet.
Yep, we did. So these right here, we get these all the time. It's amazing how frequently we can sell them, but it's also probably 50% of the time these end up in our scrap metal bin. Okay.
If you had to guess, how much would you say that scrap metal was worth? $5?
Yeah, probably $5. So this right here, this is a floor scraper. It weighs 2,500 pounds. It puts all the pressure down here on a pin. The pin sets on a blade. The blade sets on the floor, and it will pull the tile right up. Now, what's the efficiency of something like that? It's terrible efficiency. If you're doing taking up floors and you're using something like this, it's sexy and all that, but your effectiveness and your efficiency is terrible, because by the time you load it up, get it working, keep it working, get it into the unit, and the amount of stuff that you can actually pull up with this in our environment, I'm talking about commercial or residential stuff, you can't do the closets, you can't do the kitchens, you can't do a lot of the stuff with this because it will damage it. It literally is a 2,500 pound ramming. It's a ram. It's all hydraulic run. You see a lot of the companies that we compete with, they run with these, we run with the demo hammers. By the time that they can do what they do, we can do what we do with fewer guys and be done and give you a better product. And been doing this for a long, long time.
So you would say that something like that is good for commercial properties like a grocery store or something
Yeah,
like that?
if you're going to take up the tile in a really big room, yes. So when we do get stuck with using these, they make us take them up their elevators. The other thing is they weigh 2,500 pounds. Well, elevators are rated for 2,500 to 3,500 pounds. So you're taking an elevator and you're stressing it out with this machine. A lot of times it breaks the elevator, okay? Now, it doesn't break free and fall, but they quit running. So is that a good idea? Yeah, if you're doing Walmarts. But for what it costs, that's like 40 grand for that thing. What it costs, we have 2 of them. That one has sat so much, we're selling it. It's on eBay. They sit so much because it just doesn't make sense with what we do. Although you'll see companies out there, they're doing dust free and they're doing this. And I guarantee you they're not making anywhere near the amount of money they should be making. Because what happens is this stuff right here makes your guys lazy. All they want to do is ride around on it, and then they're knocking off the walls, knocking the walls off the pins and stuff like that. They're doing damage. They're messing up the elevator. They're messing up the tile going in to the elevator. Because you're not only taking a 2,500 pound machine inside of a condominium, you're going over the tile and you're praying that the guy who put the tile down did a good job. Because if he didn't, well, guess what happens when you run a car over it? It snaps. So that, guess who's on the hook for that? You are.
Dave is.
So then what happens is this, it just doesn't make any sense. And then the dust free. What a joke. You can't do construction without dust. Now, if they advertised and said lower dust or less dust, that I understand. But dust free, that's a joke. Can you go swimming and not get wet? No, you can't do demo. You can't do construction without dust. You can't.
Gas or electric or
So this is electric. It's an electric machine. Okay, let's go check out a couple more things. So we got this really crazy junk removal this week. We went down to a high-end luxury complex, and they just had some stuff they just needed to get rid of. It didn't look like they wanted things to look like in a luxury resort. So let me show you the couple things we got. So this is one of them. And by the way, it runs. We put new batteries in it. We were driving it around. And then we got this wave runner over here, same thing. It needs a tune-up. Now that's my wave runner trailer, and we used that to go pick it up because we didn't want to have any problems with it. But that thing right there started right up. Okay, so we put a new battery in that. We're going to give that a tune-up before we sell it. We're going to sell that. We're going to put it out for like 1,500 bucks. Okay, and get what we can, and we're not going to really do any work to it. So whoever buys it's going to have to do it. It's kind of rough. You want to do something fun?
Yeah.
Let's me and you lift this up. Hey, watch when we lift this up.
Ready? Oh, that was the water you were talking about.
Yeah, isn't that something? That's from the monsoon we got. That was heavier than I thought it was.
Right? I was like,
All right.
oh, I gotta sign that form now.
All right, now these right here, these are the tracks that came with the little cat machine we bought, this cat skid steer. Now those guys sold it to us. We bought it knowing that it had gotten salt water on it. We didn't know if it was gonna run or not, so far it's running just fine. Logan's actually using it at his house. But this came with it. It also came with a sweeper, came with 2 different buckets. Good deal. Long term, we won't know if it's a good deal until we owned it for a year, and if the pumps go out or whatever from the salt water, we don't know that. So, so today, basically what we do on Thursdays is we have our company meeting. We call it a safety meeting, and we just talk to the guys about things that are important to the company, like safety, wearing your gloves, wearing your glasses, making sure everything gets back here in good enough condition that we can resell it. So they're unloading something else over here. Let's go see what they're unloading. So what? All right. So did either of you guys work on this job?
Nah, not me.
All right, so, all right, cool. So this right here, Bernard did some work on it and fixed it. The air compressor wasn't working, or the cooling wasn't working on it, so we fixed that, and we're gonna put it up for sale for $2,500. Now this right here, these guys are putting this together so that we could take a good picture of it. You know, if everything's put together and people know what they're getting. So like this right here, maybe ask $1,000 for it. So this is also another kitchen setup for trays.
Take a picture now.
All right.
Me!
Yeah.
Last week where it showed everybody taking that away, you never told them how much they got for it.
Okay. Well, I have go in there and to Talon and ask him for the receipt for the, all right. So this is a bunch of scrap metal that we're processing right now. So the way this is all jumbled up like this came from one of the houses that we're tearing down. So what the guys are doing is, hey Lee, I got you a picture for that, okay? So basically that's what they're doing. They're while they're waiting for the meeting this morning, they get here, they unloaded the trucks before, and then this is what they're doing next. This is scrap metal. So this right here is copper. So all of that wire there is copper. This is copper here. So, and then what they're doing is they're getting the different types of wires apart. These are radiator cooling lines. That is, the tin looking stuff is aluminum. It just helps cool, and those are mounted on copper. So, and then this is the main line to the house. This is this is aluminum. And this was the main power line going into the house. So, and that's what happens when an excavator pulls something apart, it mangles it up. Okay, so let's go over here. Now last week we showed these dumpsters leaving. Let's go look at the dumpsters again. So this is 1 week later. Again, remember we had stuff sitting up on this because we're out of room. So we do this so that the guys can reach better. It makes it easier for them. Meanwhile, this is stainless steel. Because it's got rust on it, it's a minor, stainless steel has nickel in it. Well, this doesn't have very much nickel in it. Now, do we have the space to separate everything the way we would like to? No, we don't. So this right here is a cooktop. That's a refrigerator. This is red iron. So this is what we call shreds. This is what they would call white goods or shreds. They'll give us like 7 cents right now a pound for this. Over here, we took this dumpster. This dumpster ended up being $2,200. They took both of them last week. That is extruded aluminum, dirty extruded aluminum. So the dumpster last week when we took it, this is what it actually, that's what we got for it. Okay, so as you can tell, we're doing a lot of this stuff that we do. That doesn't make a lot of sense, okay, for $400. But you got to think about this. We would be taking that to the dump and paying to dump it if we didn't do that. Second of all, if it gets trapped in the dump, are we going to be able to use it again from a recycling standpoint? No. And then this right here, they'll send this through a machine and they'll shred it all up and it'll separate everything. And then this will get reused. This will be in your car next year or something like that. Same thing with the aluminum. It gets in, they recycle it. And like this was $2,200. I don't have the receipt for that. And this is the $400 we got for that. And I said $400 to $500, I believe, last week. So it's pretty much the same. So working as a team, now you say, okay, is scrap metal scrapping, is it worthwhile? Now these guys are doing this before they go to work. Okay, so these guys get here earlier, they get some additional hours, and we just work as a team. And these guys like each other. I mean, they don't like Bernard, but they like everybody else.
Oh, we like Bernard.
Oh, you guys like Bernard now? They like Bernard this week. No, actually, I don't know a human being alive that doesn't like Bernard. Oh no, I did one. We fired him. So he was giving Bernard crap. You're like, really? You don't know how this works? See ya. You don't pick on Bernard. Huh?
Pallets and bricks over there, huh?
Yeah, so let's go take a look at that. Bernard. Okay, so we're doing that house down on Fairview, okay? And we, instead of just throwing this stuff into a dumpster, we went ahead and we palletized all this and brought it back here. So we'll ask like this is $325 for a pallet. A pallet like this with this color would be $600-700, you know, so it's about half price. These kind of things, if you take them apart carefully, I mean, it's just like you're buying brand new ones. I mean, there's no problem with it. So all of this together, I would say probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 square feet. That's just a guesstimate. Normally what we do is we measure where we took it from, and that's how we know how many square feet. Now, let's go take a look at this again. We talked about this last week a little bit, but what's going to happen with all this is these were prefabricated walls that were made for a very specific application, and then they didn't use them. So what's going to happen with these is it's just red iron scrap metal, or it's going to be shreds. So what's down beside you there, these are hurricane windows, and these are, it's hard to tell, that's plastic. So those are just going to get thrown away. Now, same thing, all of that's plastic. So that's going to end up in that dumpster, and that's stuff we couldn't do. Now this is red iron. These, a lot of times we can sell them. People use them for structural members in building little buildings and stuff. Since the hurricane codes have come into play, a lot of this stuff, people don't retrofit stuff as easily as they used to, because the building department comes and tells you have to tear it down because it doesn't meet the current wind codes, which is 150 miles per hour. So all of this, they're keeping different trailers back here. They've been using this for one of these for, yeah, this is still the same. This is aluminum, sheet aluminum, dirty sheet aluminum. And then these came from the book store, the book warehouse that we cleaned out, the junk removal book warehouse. A lot of this stuff, we get it off of these different jobs. They're hazardous materials to most people. What this is oil. We have an oil container over there. We take this stuff and just pump it into there, and then they recycle it properly. The batteries, when we go to the new scrapyard that we're going to, we can take them all. The scrapyards here in Fort Myers, they won't take but 2 of them at a time. So I need to use the restroom. Okay, so what time is it?
I can't check the time.
Well, no, let's just, you want to follow Kenny around for a minute? Hey, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Your entertainment until I go to the bathroom.
Oh.
You have the reins.
Testing. Is this thing on? So this is kind of the behind the scenes with Kenny. I kind of produce the videos for Dave, and hopefully I'm doing a good job and you guys like the stuff. If there's anything you guys ever want to see, just leave us comments, because we're always looking for stuff that we can film, things that are interesting to you guys, because we base everything off of algorithm and the YouTube video, pushing it out to different people. So like I said, if you have something you'd like to see or something that's interesting, let us know. We also are doing some 3D printed merch coming up, so if there's anything you think is cool or interesting. So these are the guys here, like Dave was saying earlier, and basically what they're doing is just making money for the shop, keeping everybody busy. And as you can see, you know, we've probably got 20 people there. Here in the next couple weeks, well, I guess next couple months, we'll have probably 100 different crews, or 100 people all split up into 3 groups. So about 30 different crews going out every day. As you can see, the Remove It Pros demo trucks are all over the place. If you live here in Fort Myers, you'll notice they're everywhere. You'll be like, oh, I've seen that truck before. I just didn't know it was associated with this YouTube channel. I could go on and on and on, but this is not really my forte, is to be in front of the camera, because I'm 75 years old, and you know, it's kind of, you know, hard for me to do this stuff. And then there's another Kenny over here. So Hudson's gonna go on and just kind of show you a little bit of what's going on. Across the street here, we have the boat show going on. So if you guys are into boats and stuff, it's probably a real nice boat show to go check it out. It's at the old dog track here across from our shop. And we'll just kind of take a little walk over this way and kind of see what there is, kind of behind the scenes of the boat as we wait for Dave to
Taking up all our space.
taking up all our space. Yes, as you can see, our space has been chopped down to something pretty small now, which kind of makes it hard to fit everything in. Now, if you know anything about boats, you'll know that they're expensive. You probably couldn't get a pontoon boat for less than $20,000, and that's a used one. Over here, we've got, you know, $1 million worth of boats easily, just in one row. Let's see, can we see any of that boats? There we go. Well, we can go in through our gate and just kind of walk over there to it. Let's go back this way, Hudson.
Let's see if Dave wants to show them off.
All right. Yeah, let's see if Dave wants to do that. Hey, morning. Morning. Well, let's walk inside and let's go see what's going on in the front office here. Now, if my wife was here, she could do some comedy because she's a comedian here in Fort Myers.
Remember one of our jokes?
Well, all of her jokes are about me, about how my idiosyncrasies and how she hates that during COVID. She realized that she hates that the way I chew. So that's always fun. Every time I eat some potato chips in bed, she's giving me that look. So, I mean, leave a comment. Does your wife hate how you chew? Because they definitely hate how I chew. Let's go in here. We'll walk through the store. This is not Heidi over here. We're not showing her because she doesn't want to be on camera. We're just looking for Dave. This is the man in charge right there. Oh, we lost Dave. Let's find Dave. These are the secret passages. By the way, this is probably my favorite picture. It's a little bird. He's yellow. We call him Terry. This is Dave on the screen again. Everywhere we go, as an editor, Hudson knows that we see Dave's face 24/7. Where's Dave?
He just went looking for you this way. He's lagging behind us on the screen.
Right.
I'm saying he's around there looking for the.
Dave!
He's around there. I said he's looking for y'all. He said he's around there looking for both.
Yep. We're going to the boats.
I don't know if he came out here though. Where'd you go?
Where'd you go? There he is. Dave's showing pictures of his girlfriend.
That's a young one.
Oh, he is showing pictures of his friends. We're going to show the boats.
I wonder where you're at. What for?
Because it's here.
All right, watch out. Don't get run over. All right, good morning. All right, how are you? So we're gonna have our meeting here in a couple minutes, and what happens is a couple times a year they have the boat show here, and we share our parking lot with all these fancy schmancy boats. So I mean, like that one right there's got, what is that, 4, are those 500s on there? Can you tell? 400 or 500 boaters on it. Yeah, I bet it gives good gas mileage.
Yeah, about what, 2 miles a gallon?
Yeah, something like that. So Moss Marina, that's cool. They're out here representing, which that's new. That's a new setup for them. I've never seen them over here before. So I don't know how much of this we really want to do. So
Yeah.
all right, here just walk into here. So if you want to come to the boat show here in Bonita, this is basically it. So they got every kind of boat you can think of, other than they don't have a lot of yachts here. So howdy, howdy. So the same place that we rent from, they do this a couple times. They have a festival here 2 times a year, and then they have this for 2 times a year. So when they do that, we get scrunched down into a smaller area. Basically, what happens is they kind of let us spread out a little bit, and then when they come back in, we have to shrink everything back into a smaller area. I mean, technically, we're only renting like this. So that machine right there, if that's back here, I don't know what's wrong with it, but there's something wrong with it for it to be sitting here, because they'll just move it from one job to the next. You know, moving that around, you don't want to move it around too much. So, wonder if this is the one where we broke the window. Normally they fix that stuff pretty quick because they don't want to do without the AC.
They must have fixed it there on the door.
Huh?
Would have been this panel right here.
On this door?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
It's right there, the old one.
yeah. Here's the old one.
Yeah, it's I think in this video, just pulled up rebar, went back and smashed the window.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it. That's what we got for today, and we'll see it. We're going to do this every Thursday. I think next Thursday, I think what we might do is go do a Airbnb trip and go look at some of these things we just bought, and then what we have to do to them. So I think that's what we're going to do for next week. So it's Remove It Pros Demolition, and hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.